All right, it's Sunday. Saturday happened. We actually did a lot of work. I'll show you what we did in a second, but didn't film anything. Not sure why, it just didn't happen. But here's the result of all those quarry runs. 47 ton of stone. Nice big pile of stone sitting there. That should be all we need for the building, but if we need a little bit more, I'll just go get more at the end. But I think that's gonna cover it for that. But a lot's happened with the barn, so let's do a barn update and I'll show you what we did yesterday and what we're doing today. All right, I think the most noticeable thing here is that most of the roof is on, which is great. We just got a little bit, the back part of the roof to put on. And once that goes on, the gravel will go down and the concrete is gonna get poured. So we are making some serious progress. The builder did have to take this next week off. He's still got to go finish another job that didn't work out because of the weather. So he'll be back in a week. But that's good because I'll show you what we're doing today, what we started yesterday. Okay, so we dug trenches yesterday as kind of future-proofing, but getting everything in before the concrete goes down. So we're putting in conduit that's going to go out to the solar field over here, and we dug trenches on the other side, and that is for the plumbing and some other conduit, water coming in and propane coming in. Thankfully the small excavator did fit in here, barely. My brother did all the spotting for me so that I didn't knock the building down, but it turns out that this clay is incredibly hard. So we dug trench out that way and a trench all the way out that way. We're consolidating everything into this one trench. We kind of reconfigured everything so that we didn't have to dig 100 trenches and we can fit it all in here. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be putting down PVC conduit and then filling all this back in, packing it back tight. We've had to dig a little bit by hand, and it is literally like concrete. Very difficult to dig through. Thankfully, we did most of it with the excavator. So we're gonna get back to work because we got a lot to do and we don't have a lot of time today. So that's the update as of today. All right, it's the end of the day and we did a lot of work. We were working pretty hard. So there's the stub out for the conduit, the electrical conduit, and that trench is filled all the way in. And it doesn't matter that that's crooked because that's actually going to come back out later, but this is all filled in all the way out there. And that is put in place, glued, everything's done. And it's there for when we're ready to do that. And it's out of the way, so we can get through there with equipment. And then over here, we didn't finish, so I'm gonna have to work on this some more this week, but we made really good progress. Show you what we did. So there's a trench. We didn't get it, that goes to where the kitchen's gonna be. We didn't work on that. We focused on the bathrooms. Bathroom on this side of the wall, bathroom on that side of the wall. And so we got this all laid out with, here's the sink, toilet, the shower, and same thing on the other side. Sink, toilet, shower. This is the main drain going out. So yeah, that's what we got done. We had like 4 hours. That's what we got done in 4 hours. So I feel really good about that. I had to stop because I got to do some other things, but I'm standing in the shade and it is so much nicer under here than it is out there in that blazing sun. So that is really nice. Can't wait till this thing is done. But let me show you, they did some more framing back here too, besides just getting the roof on overhead. And so you can see the framing. The framing is done for this back shed roof all the way down. So when he does come back in a week or so, they'll be getting this roof on, and then it'll be time for concrete. So that's why I got to get all that plumbing done. Plumbing and conduit and everything, all done. Fill all these trenches back in, compact them back in, and then he can put down the gravel and get the concrete poured. So that's pretty great. We changed the plans again because that's what we do. So we're actually going to enclose more. And what we're going to do is, so originally we were going to enclose this part on this side and same on the other side. And then we changed the plans last week to enclose this part here as well on both sides. And then I was redrawing the plans to lay out the plumbing and everything, and I said, you know what, this is silly. Let's just enclose the shed for the entire length. Not the entire length of the barn, but the whole part that we're gonna do, the Barndominium part. So we're gonna enclose the shed on this side all the way to here, which is I'd say I guess the 20-foot mark, but it's not because it goes 12 feet that way, so 32-foot mark here. He's gonna have to put another post over there to square this up. And we're gonna do the same thing on that side, and that's why we're putting that plumbing on that side of the wall to put in that second bathroom. So now we're not gonna do a loft. We were gonna do a sleeping loft in the back here, and that was gonna be a lot of extra work, and it was gonna be a little cramped. So what this allows us to do is have 3 bedrooms and a much bigger open area in the middle, and 2 bathrooms, one in the master bathroom, or one bedroom, and one out in the main area. It allows us to have a pantry and a little area for laundry, and then the 2 other bedrooms are actually a little bit bigger. So it just made sense. It just made sense. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really cost any more. It's gonna be about the same price. We've got to put in a couple extra posts, but generally speaking, it's gonna be basically the same cost in the end. So it makes it easier. It's all on one level, and we were able to get that second bathroom. So that's really huge. And again, the bedrooms are a little bit bigger. So I was really excited about that. Sent the new plans to our builder, and he doesn't care. I mean, he just builds. And now's the time to do it. I think we've been talking all along to kind of future-proof this place, even though it's gonna be, I'll say temporary living. I mean, a couple years isn't really temporary, but it's kind of temporary in the grand scheme of things. For guest space or one of our kids or whatever, right? Maybe do a little bit of Airbnb. Who knows? But it's there, and it'll work much better and function better, and it makes a lot more sense. So I'm headed out into the field here because yesterday something crazy happened. We didn't film, and I know, I'm not really, I guess, the best YouTuber in the world because I carry a camera because I have my phone with me everywhere, but I don't try to film everything. I don't try to capture every moment in my life and put it on the internet. I realize we're putting our life on the internet, but not every moment. And when you have an emergency, listen, I'm just trying to solve the emergency, and I don't really care to try to capture a video. That's not me. I don't record myself 24 hours a day, but let me get out here and I will show you what happened yesterday, and it was kind of wild. All right, so I'm out here in one of the pastures fairly close to the back of the house. This is like halfway to the big back pasture, and you can see those are pine trees, and they're everywhere, and they all got to get pulled out. This is what all of our pastures look like because they were just neglected. So that's one of the many things we're doing. But yesterday, my brother and I, we were done for the day, and we were standing up there in the back lot behind the house, just chatting, getting ready to kind of put everything away, and we saw some smoke. And he points at it, and he goes, "What is that?" I looked, and I have a couple neighbors over here through the woods, a couple houses, and I said, "Oh, well, one of the neighbors must be burning some brush." And he looked a little bit. He goes, "I don't think so. I think that's in your field." And we walked to the gate and poked our head around the corner, and sure enough, it was like, "Oh yeah, that does kind of look like it's in our pasture." So we walked down here, and the pasture, woods, whatever you want to call this, was totally on fire. It was a pretty intense brush fire going on. He hopped over the fence. I ran back to the house to get the skid steer, and I came flying down through here with the skid steer. By the time I got here, he he was out here in his white t-shirt and his Crocs, but he had ripped a branch off of the pine trees, and he was basically beating out the flames with a pine branch. I will give him credit, pretty successfully too, but it was actually advancing and kind of raging a lot faster than what he was going to be able to. Yeah, he tells me if he had 4 guys with pine branches, he could have put it out, and maybe that's true. So I came through and cut a fire line over here and all the way around the fire, and then went through with the bucket and ground it all, stomped it all out, stomped out all the flames, mixed it up with the dirt, and then we got out and we cleared any hot spots. But it was moving pretty fast. The flames were really tall. It was extremely hot. We were covered in soot. Definitely had some smoke inhalation. And we have a neighbor that's right over here, just where that tall, you see those tall pine trees are. Their house is literally right there on that side. And then we have another neighbor over here. And that fire was ripping, and it was moving really fast. And it's just crazy, and we couldn't figure out what just started right there in between those pine trees. I know it didn't find any disturbance. Like, it definitely wasn't intentionally set or anything. The grass is tall and dry. Hasn't rained since Helene. That was a few weeks ago. And this tall grass is just dried right out. And apparently it just sparked a fire. I don't understand how that happened, but it did. It sparked a fire. We happened to be standing out there. Thank goodness we were. Definitely would have went right towards my neighbor's houses. Don't know that it would have burned them down, but it would have done some damage, and it would have been pretty scary. It was pretty exhilarating. It was pretty exhilarating. And it was also going towards our house and the new barn that's getting built. So I don't know. That was wild, but we got to put out. And seems to be fine now. Don't know what happened, but that happened yesterday, and I hope it never happens again. That brush fires are, I mean, nature just does what nature wants to do, so we're just living amongst it. But anyway, that happened yesterday, and I don't try to film my whole life, so I just have to tell you about it afterwards. So, life's an adventure. Let's keep it that way.